faces the entrance of the tomb is the eastern wall, in which the fourth door is found. It's made for the statue of the double, or the Ka of Khnum-Hotep. That's where the offering table should be placed, right in front of the door. The scenes on the wall describe Khnum-Hotep hunting and fishing. These scenes are very vivid and excellently colored. We see the tomb's owner standing elegantly on a boat, fishing using a spear. The details of Khnum's painting express his gracefulness and neat clothing and body's fitness, reassuring the fact that the scenes that showed young men wrestling and looking after the fitness of their bodies reflected real activities and sports. Khnum-Hotep hunts birds also, using traps made of nets. It's a useful sport, and the beautiful sunny weather of Egypt helped in its practice. There are black lines written in demotic handwriting between the legs of Khnum-Hotep. They were written during the time of King Ramesses II, 800 years later. Welcome to Egypt. Where are you from?
Hello, we're from Holland, the Netherlands.
Netherlands, which part?
Near Amsterdam, I live. Yeah, you too?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, 10 minutes from Amsterdam. So.
Amsterdam is very famous in Egypt because we have a comic movie called The Hammam in Amsterdam, so it's very famous.
Oh, nice, nice.
Okay. So when did you come to Egypt?
We came yesterday, and it's our second time to Egypt, to Cairo.
Your second time, so what did you...
Third time.
Right, so what did you do the previous times? Where did you go?
Before I was in Sharm el-Sheikh, and I was diving there and snorkeling, and it was a holiday on the resort. And now this vacation in Cairo is a city trip. So.
Okay, what about you?
Most of the time I'm here for business. I'm a medical escort, and I pick up Dutch people with medical problems and escort them at home to an hospital or a living place. And that's the reason why I'm here, also now here in Egypt. Bring someone to Beirut, we did it together, and then we stopped here, make a stopover in Cairo for one day, and we thought we must see and taste this museum and your old famous history.
So is this is your first trip to the museum, right?
Yeah, the first trip, and outside I saw the museum from outside, and it was very big. In Holland we have also museums, but it's like a house, right? And this is a factory, so a lot of things to see.
Yeah, it is supposed to house the most important monumental collection in the world.
Yeah, it's very old, and yeah, it's famous history, right?
Okay, anything in particular you like here in the museum?
I like the big, hoe zeg je dat?
Statues.
The big statues, and also the Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun?
Yeah, that's nice. We must see that. So, yeah, I like.
What about you?
For me a little bit the same. In Holland we must learn a lot about the world, and at school many years ago behind me I learned also about the Egypt history, and now I can see it, but I told it already, you can taste it. And why I don't know, but it's also the atmosphere in the museum. It's old, a little bit dark, and I liked it.
You are correct. Actually here you can really taste the history of Egypt, and you can touch the monument. You see the monuments in front of you only a few yards away. And so what about King Akhenaten? Have you heard about him? Akhenaten the Pharaoh, or Nefertiti?
What it was, I heard about it, I told already, when I was at school, when I was a boy about 16 years old, and I read about it, but the problem is I forget a little bit. But now I can see it again, and I don't know what I must do at home, read again. And before I went here to Egypt, I saw some documentation on our Dutch television, and we can pick it up by computer, but also about the catacombs here under it.
Okay, the storerooms?
The storerooms, yeah. Filled with a lot of more things like that.
Yeah.
And
you won't believe it. There are almost 70,000 pieces stored in the storerooms beneath the museum.
yeah, keep an eye on it.
The northern wall is the one that brought fame to Khnum-Hotep's tomb. The tomb starts at the top with him hunting, then standing with one of his sons and an escort and 3 dogs, while supervising the different activities carried on in his estate. Then in the 3rd row comes the controversial scene of the Asians coming to Egypt. Here, his scribe introduces to him 37 persons, represented by a number or a delegation of them. The texts describe the scene as follows. In the 6th year of the reign of the mighty Horus, guide of the 2 lands, king of Upper and Lower Egypt, Sesostris II, a number of Asians were brought by the son of the governor, Prince Khnum-Hotep. They brought Kahl. The Shasu are 37 in number. Then the text ends. The word Shasu was a name by which the Egyptians called Sinai Bedouins and the Samites who lived in Syria and Palestine. The scene was interpreted as a record of the advent of Abraham to Egypt. The art of the scene raises eyebrows of admiration. The foreigners were depicted accurately, with showing details of their strange colored costumes and different hairstyles and beards. Their leader is called Ibsha, which equates Ibshai in the Bible. There is a sentence written above them that tells their nationality. It says Hekau Chasut, which means the rulers of foreign lands. It may be the origin of the word Hyksos, and if that is correct, then the very people who came to Egypt as visitors and were welcomed as guests planted the very seed of one of the most vicious enemies of Egypt. The text inscribed on the bottom part of the wall shows the pride Khnum-Hotep had, being a governor who was appointed by the king Amenemhat II for his love of justice. Here, he mentions the gnome's name to be Menait Khofo, which means the wet nurse of King Cheops. King Cheops lived 1,000 years earlier, yet the Egyptians, who revered their ancestors and their history, kept calling this town Menait Khofo, being proud to be related to that woman. He also listed his family tree line that showed how the marriages between his family and another ruler's family and inheritance kept the ruling power for generations, starting from the middle of the 11th dynasty till the middle of the 12th dynasty. The last wall is a western one that comprises the tomb's entrance. On it, there are presentations of all major crafts and industries that took place at its time in Egypt, like the carpenters, the shipbuilders, potters, weavers, bakers, carriers, and sculptors. The tomb of Khnum-Hotep II is one incredibly important Middle Kingdom tomb that bears on its walls all aspects of life in Egypt, including crafts, sports, rituals, and art, but above all, the precious texts and scenes that forms the basis of the greatest history of all, the Egyptian history.